It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. It's Tuesday evening, February 14th, 2017. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and FDAX this evening. Crude oil is bearish and trying to finish off the target from last night's newsletter. But there's one trend line that's most likely going to make or break this move lower tomorrow. The S&P is bullish, and the last 2 hours of trading gave us all the information we need to know where the most reliable buying opportunities will be tomorrow. Gold is bearish, even after this strong move higher to finish the session, because there's one big clue on the chart that I'll bet most traders aren't looking at tonight. The euro is bearish, but two big clues tell us the selling is likely over and the bulls have a big opportunity if they can show us some proof tomorrow. The FDAX is bullish, but the bulls are just inches away from the target we defined in last night's newsletter, so our next option is to wait for a nice key breakout back at the trading range we're seeing in the short term. For another great newsletter in store for you guys and gals tonight. I have plenty of reliable trading opportunities setting up for tomorrow. Before we jump into our charts, before we take a look at the schedule and put the plan together for tomorrow, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is on our blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link and come join me on the blog for the full-length version and all 5 markets with all the analysis for tomorrow. While you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when our nightly newsletter video goes live. Follow me on social. I'm always posting important links, important charts, and updates throughout the day on my many social media channels. Follow those social media channels in the lower left-hand corner. And don't forget to download the charts for tonight. All the charts you see me using in tonight's video, you can download those charts by following that link right below the video tonight on our blog. And please don't forget to grab your free pass. You're going to learn more with me in 90 minutes on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that. If you're not an advanced member here at School of Trade, grab that free pass in the upper right-hand corner. And please don't forget, we get a great frequently asked questions page if you're brand new here to the SOT community, and I'm always standing by to answer all your questions about any topic, right? Trading related or not, hit me up on the live support tool on the right-hand side of the website. Hope you guys have had a great week so far. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, this year has been incredible. This month of February has been incredible. Hope you guys have had a great week so far. Another big day, though, of learning and earning opportunities tomorrow. Don't forget, we're going to do all of this together with all of our students at 8 o'clock Eastern Time in our trade room, along with all of our advanced members. Let's dig in. Tomorrow's Wednesday, February the 15th. Let's first take a look and see what we have here tonight. Do we have any major news this evening? No, we do not. No major news in the overnight session to worry about here for tomorrow. So we'll go right into tomorrow morning. We have some relatively minor news tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, the labor market report from our good friends in Great Britain. And then we'll go right into the U.S. session at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have consumer prices at 8:30, retail sales, Empire State, manufacturing, and then into industrial production at 9:15. It's going to be a busy morning here tomorrow morning in the U.S. session here. And of course, that will all be very welcome because tomorrow we have that Yellen testimony tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So a lot of action early in the session, and we will definitely be looking forward to that because we know that by 10 a.m. tomorrow, as we talked about in last night's newsletter, this is the semi-annual testimony right in front of the Senate Banking Committee on Capitol Hill. So Janet Yellen tomorrow, not expected to be as dramatic of an announcement as it was today. If you followed my advice from last night's newsletter, you were watching after 9:30 this morning, and if you saw it, you saw exactly what happened, right? It really slowed down as of about 9:30, 9:45. Then, of course, Janet Yellen took the stage at 10 a.m. So tomorrow's going to be similar, but usually we're not going to see as dramatic of a slowdown tomorrow just because there won't be a lot of new stuff being covered, right? She'll say the same thing she did today, and then we'll go into the same live, unscripted right, Q&A with the House, with the Senate Banking Committee. So be aware of that tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day of early in, early out, early in, early out. Watch after 9:30 tomorrow morning, right, for that volume to dry up ahead of Janet Yellen's speech at 10 a.m. We had a really good example of that today in our trade room. We found a ton of great opportunities before 9:30, and it was really about as good as we could have expected it on a Yellen testimony day. One more thing to keep in mind, this probably not going to have as big of an impact tomorrow just because it's coming in the wake of Janet Yellen speaking, but we do have the 10:30 inventory report tomorrow. Again, typically I would tell you that on crude oil, be aware of the volume slowing down ahead of that news number, but we already have Janet Yellen at 10 a.m., so keep your eyes at around 9:30 to 9:45 tomorrow for price action slowing down. After that news comes out, okay, keep an eye on that 10:30 news. After that news comes out, remember to give it at least 10 minutes after. Hopefully the volume won't be too drastically slow tomorrow. Again, we got Yellen at 10 a.m. So we're going to play it by ear. We'll see how it looks as of 10:30, 10:40, 10:45, 10 to 15 minutes after that news comes out. Then we can start looking at a market that will become tradable again. So be aware, it should get real slow ahead of Yellen tomorrow, but also be aware we should have a spike in volatility around 10:30 a.m. With that inventory report coming out, and give it 10 minutes after, right, to let that thing that wild animal calm down. Now, with that said, I'm going to put this information below the video. So make sure you scroll down, click the link that says read more. I'm going to post the inventory numbers for tomorrow right below this video on the blog, right? So make sure, I'm going to give it to you on a chart, but I'll also give it to you below the video tonight. So scroll down, click the link that says, right, read more information, and then open up the big commentary below the video. There's a lot of commentary down there, and I'll put all the inventory levels for tomorrow. If you're a student of mine, if you're an intermediate member here at School of Trade, right, we cover that, of course, in the the intermediate class ahead of the inventory report. So we got some levels to watch, right, for tomorrow if we're trading crude oil. So Yellen at 10 a.m., early in, early out. Watch that, obviously, like I said, and then like I said yesterday, Janet Yellen, she doesn't testify every week, so we're going to put up with this every once in a while. Luckily, though, again, today was a great day, though. I didn't find any real challenge today, getting in early and getting out early. Hopefully, you guys had a great day as well. Another big day tomorrow. Let's jump right in. We got crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and FDAX. Now the schedule, and again, the list of all these API numbers, right? All of these API levels in blue. That list, of course, will be right below the video tonight. You can also download the charts by following that link below the video tonight. So crude is bearish ahead of tomorrow's key inventory report, and the support trend line on that chart just overhead of current price is most likely going to be the line in the sand for who keeps control of this market tomorrow. The bear channel had an overshoot into an overshoot and then back to retest a low. So we know the sellers got what they came for today. Now, the big question is, can we hold the next pullback to that trend line overhead? If so, we'll likely see the continuation down to that measured move. If not, we'll then be looking for the buyers to take control ahead of the news at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Now, we talk about this every Tuesday evening. A lot of times going into an inventory report, the market will be, for example, a bearish market going into the inventory report, and then the whole entire day of Wednesday is just one big bull day, setting things up for Thursday where we end up going right back down, right? Or vice versa, right? The Tuesday session is very bullish, right? The Wednesday session is all bears, and that, of course, sets up for a Thursday session, right? That's all bullish again, right? To go back and retest the high. So be aware. A lot of times we see kind of this, Jekyll and Hyde personality between a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Well, the bottom line is, people do things ahead of inventory reports on Wednesdays they would never do any other time of the week. A lot of gamblers, a lot of speculators, most professionals are not going to really trade very heavily on Wednesdays because they know there's a lot of rookies and retail traders out there that chase the volatility, and it's it's like driving a car at 2 in the morning. Not a lot of good stuff happens during that time. So it's be aware. We're expecting to see a different type of crude market tomorrow. Now, with that said, here's what we want to keep in mind. I think the most important clue right now is this bear channel. The bear channel tells us that anytime we see a nice deep correction, the sellers are going to try to retest that low. So the bears, in this example, got exactly what they came for. This is extremely important because anytime a market reaches an objective in a bear market to retest the low, or in a bear market reaching a measured move, anytime we have a market, right, that reaches its quote-unquote objective. Right now the bears, they got their overshoot, and they retested that low. That's their objective. They got what they came for, and you can see just by looking at the wicks on these candlesticks, right, that most traders probably said, ooh, great, let's take our profit here ahead of tomorrow's inventory report. Now, from there, as we do anytime we see a market reach their objective, is now we wait and see what happens next. Now, right now, the market is relatively low, right? In comparison to where we were an hour ago, the market is low. So sellers don't want to sell low, they'll want to sell high. This is where this trend line comes into play. And this is why I said that trend line is most likely going to be, no pun intended, right? The line in the sand for tomorrow, right? So here we are now. Let's say we go up, can't hold above, and we come back down, right? We're going to use this trend line as an area of resistance, right? Selling high to bring that price down. We also know, though, that, hey, we oftentimes see these full reversals on Wednesdays, right, ahead of the news. Again, people do crazy things on Wednesdays. Maybe now it blows through it, it holds, and then we see some strength, right? And now we have this bull day now targeting going back up to retest that high. I think a lot of what we're going to know for tomorrow is going to happen in the next few hours here. I think it's going to be either a strong move up, right? If we see a real strong move up that can hold above that trend line, that's a really good clue that we're probably going to be in a bullish environment tomorrow. If we make a strong move up, but we can't hold above that trend line, right? Now we know, all right, buyers weren't able to hold this. The sellers were just looking for a higher price and will continue lower, right? How far down? Probably down to this measured move as long as we don't break right above the key area there at 40, right? 53.40. So a real big clue here right now in that trend line, right? Again, watch closely here because if it just grinds higher, it's probably going to end up coming right back down again. However, if it starts out grinding and then bam, right, strong, right, real strong move above that trend line, that's going to tell me two things. It's going to tell me, one, the sellers are getting out of the way, right? And two, the buyers now are aggressively buying low and trying to go up into the battle zone and most likely up to retest that high. So again, pay real close attention to what happens around this trend line as this price goes higher. If we can hold it, right, we're looking good to continue back down to retest the low. That was the target from last night's newsletter. Right, so that was the target from last night's newsletter. That's where they're trying to go right now. That measured move, obviously here, right? That will be a milestone as well to the downside. If they can jump up and hold, right, then obviously now we'll be in a different trend direction, right? And we're looking for a bull move higher, bull measured move, bull channel, and we know the objective, right, will be to retest, right, that high. One more scenario to keep in mind would be if we go lower here. Right, we don't pull back. If we go lower, watch out for this as a reversal line, right, and keep looking to sell high, right? Keep looking to sell high. That trend line will still be there, right? So keep looking to sell high. So even if it goes lower, keep looking to sell high, right? Use those overhead areas of resistance because if it goes lower, we don't want to try to sell into that low, right? I really should have marked this up as kind of a no trade zone down there, right? We don't really want to sell low, right? We want to sell low. So if it does roll over, just make sure you keep selling high. So really interesting chart there on crude tonight. Get a lot of really cool charts here tonight that I think you guys will learn a lot from and hopefully you'll earn a lot with tomorrow. How about some S&P? I'll tell you, the S&P is it's been kind of a boring year on the S&P, right? It's just been kind of straight up, buy the pullback, wait for the pull, right? This is very much and I always tell my clients, turn off the television set, right, and get back to reality, right? In reality, trading is very routine, right? It's the same thing over and over again. I'm a very big believer that repetition is the knife or the stone.